Hello, this is the story from my childhood, from when I was about maybe 10 or 11, 12, somewhere right around there. And it takes place in the town of Morgan, Utah. And in Morgan, Utah, they have an outdoor recreational place for RVs and campgrounds and picnics and all that. And it's called Como Springs, not Cuomo, but Como. So they have a little outdoor place called Como Springs, and my mom used to go there quite a bit when I was a kid. One summer we went there, and they have a huge outdoor swimming pool, and it's heated by natural spring water, but the pool, most of the pool was really ice cold. Pockets were okay, they're a little warm and all that, but most of the pool was cold. And it smelled like sulfur, like rotten eggs a little bit. It had that smell, but you got over it after a while. And then on the back of the outdoor pool, it's a pretty big, good-sized pool. On the outdoor of that pool, or on the back of the pool, I mean, they had a large, kind of a rickety slide. Kids could slide down to the pool. And it was about 3 stories high. It was really high, really high. And then behind that swimming pool, once you climb up on that stairs, right behind the swimming pool, the outdoor swimming pool, was a huge pond. And when you look off the slide deck from the 3 stories high, you could see a boat dock down there. You had to walk across a plank, and I was curious what was inside that boat dock, of course. So I walked out of the pool, walked across the plank, across like 10 feet of water, across these boards into this boathouse. And when I opened the door, it was unlocked, and there was no boat inside, but you can walk on both sides of the where the boat was supposed to be parked. And I got that urge, like I thought it was kind of cool in there, and I don't know if you know what I mean by getting the urge, but all of a sudden when you're in a place that you think's kind of cool, you have the urge to take a dookie, and that's what I did. And I really didn't have time to run back to the pool, so I just got the idea to lean over the side of the boat ramp inside the boathouse and just take a dookie inside the water. So that's what I did. And then after I did that, I stood up, I looked at the dookie, and the dookie was a good, 12 inches. I know, it was a huge one. Have you ever had that shock when you think you're just taking a regular number 2 and you get up and you go, oh, man, that's a huge one. It's kind of like a beached well where it's sticking up half out of the toilet. And it takes like maybe 2-3 times to flush down because it won't break in half, it won't swirl. But anyway, the point being is that it was a huge dookie, and it floated, and it started floating out of the boathouse into the middle of the pond, or towards the middle of the pond. So I left the boathouse, went back to the pool, and climbed up the top of the slide again to see if I could find the dookie. And by this time it was it was getting way out there, 30-40 feet out there. And my cousin was coming up the slide, and I was going to show her, where my dookie was, or what it was. I pointed out into the middle of the pond. I said, "Hey, you see that floating out there?" And she goes, "Yeah, what is it?" "That's my dookie." And then she started laughing. And then just like 2 or 3 seconds after we started laughing, a huge, and I mean a huge carp, maybe 2 feet long, huge carp with a giant mouth, took a bite off one end of my dookie. And that topped off the laughter and the memory. That's a story I've told a million times, and every time I tell it to my cousin, she laughs out loud, and she always asks me, "Do you remember that time when you took a dump in the pond and that fish ate it?" Yeah, that was a good memory. Anyway, before I go, I just want to show you what it's like out here in central Iowa on a typical spring day when the wind is going nutsoids. So kind of sounds quiet right now, but when I open the door, wait till I open the door, you're going to hear all the wind whipping through those branches. and they have really high gusts, and when the gust gets really high, it feels like the roof is going to come off. I don't think there's any tornado watches today, but we'll see. Anyway, let's see if I can get the sound effect going here. Relatively quiet. Little tiny corns are coming up. Every once in a while, a branch will fall down from one of these trees, so it's good. It's good not to hang out here for too long. You can hear that wind. I got about 3 months, 4 months of this to look forward to. Anyway, that's the end of the video.